What's going on, guys? Sticks here with the Token Minorities, bringing you another deck on Pokemon TCGO, and today I am bringing you a deck, well, it's really an older deck updated with Guardians Rising, much like the Lucario video that I just did, and this is around the other full arts from the Mega Powers collection, but mainly a deck centered around Mega Manectric-EX. And before I get into the deck, just a reminder that if you guys liked this video or found it helpful, please leave a like, drop a comment, and click that subscribe button. It helps out a lot, and let's just do more for you guys. And as for the question of the day, I know that I just did a question on which of the remaining Megas would you like to see get a Spirit Link, and today, which of the remaining Megas that did not get a full art would you like to see get a full art? Now, the remaining ones are Mega Heracross, Mega Gengar, and Mega Kangaskhan. I believe those are the only three, but I could be wrong. And honestly, I think all three of those would be so freaking cool. But just in terms of the artwork, the one I would most want to see would be Mega Heracross, because, I don't know, they've done such a good job with the Mega Manectric and Mega Lucario Mega artwork that I'd be really interested to see how they did Mega Heracross, just because that thing just has such an awesome design. I know a lot of people are like, yeah, I don't really like it that much, but I love it. I think it is a truly cool design, so I'd be very interested to see what they did with it, and very curious to see what they were able to do with it. So yeah, Mega Heracross, but I also think Mega Kangaskhan and Mega Gengar would have sick artworks as well, particularly if they did the shiny Mega Gengar that they did. That was a promo, I believe. Yeah, it was a promo. But yeah, that is the Mega that I would like to see get a full art. Let me know which of the remaining Megas you would like to see get full arts and why in the comment section down below. I would love to hear what you guys have to say. But anyway, on to the deck. Like I said, this is centered around Mega Manectric, and this is just a very old archetype. Well, not very old. It's kind of old. Actually, it's pretty old. This was before the Sun and Moon era. Just Mega Manectric Garbodor was a very strong deck. Mega Manectric with the ability to hit for relatively cheap, just 2 energy, 110, and you attach 2 basic energy from your discard pile to one of your bench Pokemon. Powers up itself, powers up other attackers, and then Garbodor just shuts down abilities, because apart from like Hoopa, Shaymin, and Lele, this deck does not rely on abilities much at all. So basically Mega Manectric just starts two-shotting everything, accelerating energy all over, while Garbodor shuts down abilities of our opponents and just keeps them from really being able to execute their strategy to where we're able to do what we need to do. Now, I initially tried this with Genesect. I tried to do a Mega Manectric Genesect deck that I did it a long time ago. That was one of the earlier expanded decks that I did, and it was one of my favorites. I tried it in this current expanded meta, and it really just didn't work as well as it used to. I mean, just the meta has evolved way too much, and in my opinion, the meta has evolved beyond what Mega Manectric can kind of keep up with. However, it still definitely is a fun deck to use and can get some victories. I mean, Garbodor in itself wins you matches, so that's why I've paired Mega Manectric with Garbodor in this instance. So, pretty much that's just how it goes. I'm going to go through the Pokemon one by one because it's a very straightforward strategy. You just attack with Mega Manectric while shutting down abilities. Running 1 Shaymin, could run 2, but we have 1-2 of Shaymin and Lele. One of the adjustments I made from Guardians Rising is the ability to have Tapu Lele in this deck as well as a backup attacker. This deck originally ran a Mewtwo EX, and while Lele cannot hit for weakness, it's just a non-lightning attacker that can get energy powered up onto it, get powered up by DCEs, all that good stuff from Mewtwo, except again, can't hit for weakness, but it's still very strong, can win some matchups on its own, and be able to Wonder Tag to grab a supporter is incredible in this deck. You could run like a Psychic Energy or something just to be able to use Tapu Cure GX, so you have access to a GX attack. That way you can completely heal up damaged Mega Manectrics, which happens quite a bit. You have a bunch of damaged Mega Manectrics on the bench because of the free retreat and Rough Seas and whatnot. But I don't know, I think just running straight Lele, not worrying about Psychic Energy, is the way to go in this deck. But yeah, 1-2 of Shaymin and Lele. The last of the other support Pokemon is Hoopa, because we're running a Mega deck, a Mega EX deck in particular. So being able to Hoopa for like 2 Manectrics and a Shaymin, or a Manectric Jolteon and a Shaymin, whatnot, is incredibly strong. You can't grab Lele, unfortunately, so I mean that's just kind of a double-sided sword. I mean, you can run 1 Lele and 2 Shaymin, but I actually use Lele as an attacker in this deck as well, so that's why I'm running 2 of these. The other full art from the Mega Powers collection that we're using is Jolteon-EX with the Flash Ray attack. 70 damage and essentially just shuts down decks that rely on only basics. I mean, that's, if a deck relies completely on basics, then Jolteon will be able to just kind of prevent them from doing much of anything unless they're forced to Escape Rope, Lysandre, Ranger, all that stuff. So Jolteon, very, very, very strong and definitely worthwhile in this deck. Also, the fact that it has free retreat is just nice because you can have it as a starter Pokemon. It's like, well, Jolteon's not going to do much, but you know what? I'm just going to leave it there, let it stay there, because I can always just free retreat into my Manectric, let Jolteon take a hit, and then slowly heal it up with Rough Seas later in the game. Running 4-3 of Manectric and Mega Manectric. That's because Manectric's actually a decent attacker in its own right. Overrun, I mean, it's nothing special. For 1 energy, it does 20 and 20. That's basically just kind of a worse Hammerhead, but you can use, like, but it's more versatile in terms of the energy cost. And then Assault Laser for 2 energy does 60. That's nothing special. But if your opponent has a tool attached, this attack does 60 more. So essentially, for 2 energy, you're doing 120, which actually is better overall in terms of damage output than Turbo Bolt. But I mean, Turbo Bolt, you just can't beat the fact that you can accelerate 2 basic energy from the discard pile to one of your Pokemon while doing pretty respectable damage. So 4-3 of Manectric and Mega Manectric for that reason. And then 2-2 of Trubbish and Garbodor because, I mean, you don't always need Garbodor for matchups, but dang is it helpful, and it really just kind of auto-wins certain matchups depending on the matchup. So that's the 2 pairing that we're going with for the Pokemon, and it works out a lot better than I actually would have thought it would. As for the items, 2 Battle Compressor, put supporters in the discard pile to activate VS Seeker, put regular energy in the discard pile so that Mega Manectric can accelerate those. Basically, Battle Compressor is such a ridiculously strong card. The more I play, the more I realize how much it impacted the meta. 1 Computer Search, we're in Expanded, might as well use Computer Search because, I mean, gets you any card you want while putting stuff in the discard pile. 2 Field Blower. Gets rid of stadiums, gets rid of Spirit Links, all that. And I'm running... So I'm actually kind of torn about whether or not I like the fact that I have 2 Field Blower but only 1 Choice Band. Maybe... I don't know. So the theory behind what I'm running is that I can Field Blower away my Choice Band off, or the Spirit Link off the Mega Manectric once it's Mega Evolved, and then attach a Choice Band onto it, much like I tried to do with Lucario in the previous video. But I don't know, it doesn't work out the way I want to. However, Field Blower is still very strong, gets rid of opposing tools and opposing stadiums and all that, so still 2 is fine, but just maybe tinker with this with the line of Choice Band a little bit, or just kind of give up on it altogether. I don't know. I just put that in there because it worked a couple times in testing, so I decided to go with it. 4 Ultra Ball guaranteed, get us what we want when we want. 4 VS Seeker, let us reuse all of our supporters. And as for the supporters, we have the typical 3-3-2 line of Sycamore and Lysandre. The tech supporters, we are running 1 Hex Maniac, just kind of help out with Garbodor shutdown abilities early. If you, well, I mean, against like Mega Rayquaza, although you have a good enough matchup in that matchup anyway. But basically what it does is it shuts down abilities until you're able to get Garbodor in play to shut down abilities in itself. So Hex Maniac, very strong. 1 Kukui, and again, you guys know I love this card, particularly with Lele. Mega Manectric, 110 is very, very nice, don't get me wrong, but it just isn't enough in a lot of different scenarios. So Kukui's like, you know what, here's an extra 20 damage for this turn. 130 is a magic number in the TCG. It's like 130, 180, and then like 250 or whatever. But 130 is a magic number. Kukui allows us to hit for that. And then finally 1 Ghetsis, because Ghetsis is so incredibly strong, especially first turn. If you just Lele into a Ghetsis, you can completely destroy an opponent's turn 1. I mean, just plain and simple, Ghetsis wins you games. Like, these 3 cards right here can win you games in themselves in the right scenario. As for the tools, running 1 Choice Band, like I said, to kind of boost the damage output of Turbo Bolt, 3 Mega Manectric Spirit Links for, I mean, well, not Mega Manectric, 3 Manectric Spirit Links for 3 Mega Manectric, 3 Float Stones for Garbodor, but also we can slap them on to like Hoopa and Shaymin and Lele if you need to, but Lele likes to have a Choice Band sometimes as well. 2 DCEs. You could run 3, but I mean, just this deck runs so much better on more lightning energy and fewer DCEs. Because, I mean, DCEs, don't get me wrong, they're still very, very strong, being able to slap it onto Jolteon and Lele and use very effectively, but you want to just have a couple of those for tech situations. Meanwhile, you want to have 8 lightning energy, so you have mostly lightning. That way you can turbo bolt, accelerate, attach, all that good stuff. So, yeah, that is the deck, and let's go ahead and see it in action. Alrighty, we have found one against, oh boy, this looks like a pure fighting deck, so this should be interesting to say the least. I mean, it means that Tapu Lele, sorry, I forgot which Tapu I had for a second. Tapu Lele is going to probably be the main way that we're going to be able to at least not get absolutely destroyed. On the bright side, we don't see any Shaymin, so we'll know that what draw support, or that what supporter my opponent plays is the only supporter that he'll have for the turn, and I start off with 3 Manectrics. Well, oh boy. This is going to be interesting. We even see the Carbink, so, I mean, let's go ahead and battle Compressor, at least throw 1 supporter in there so I can at least activate my VS Seekers. Let's throw a Sycamore, a Lightning, and a Lysandre. I don't want to get rid of too many draw supporters. Like, normally I'd get rid of, like, a Sycamore and an N so I'd have other options. But with this hand, like, I want to be able to top deck out of it, but also activate my VS Seekers. So I'm just going to go with this for the time being. I'm holding on to the Hex Maniac because I want to wait and play that when I'm able to attack into the Carbink. If I can get a Lightning, then that'd be phenomenal. I get an N. I can work with this. So let's go ahead and Choice Band. Choice Band up my benched Manectric, I think. Do I want to play the other one? Yeah, why the heck not? And then let's end. I know my opponent didn't play supporter, but I need to get something going. And I get a... This is good. This is very good. I get a Trubbish, and let's Ultra Ball, get rid of Lysandre, and a Lightning to grab... Let's grab a Shaymin. See if I can get a Spirit Link or something like that. But yeah, let's go ahead and Field Blower, get rid of the Choice Band and the Scorched Earth. That way I can Shaymin for more cards. And if I can just grab a Lele or something like that, then I don't have to waste a supporter. Okay, I get a Lele. How do I want to do this? Let's play the energy there. And then... How many Lightning are in the discard pile? 2. Ooh. Yeah, for this turn, I'm actually just going to end it by Mega Evolving. I have the Garbodor for next turn to potentially turn off my opponent's abilities. I can Lele for a Sycamore or something like that. I don't think there's a way actually, if he gets a Choice Band and a Strong Energy... No, even if he gets a Choice Band and a Strong Energy, he needs a Choice Band, Strong Energy, and Fighting Stadium, I think, in order for Diamond Gift to be able to knock me out, because then that'd be 90, 110, yeah. So if he gets all of that stuff, then I'm in a bad position. But otherwise, my opponent right now just has a Carbink with a single energy on it. Yeah, that's going to be doing a little bit of damage. Machop is getting powered up on the bench. A little bit scary. Okay, he will be able to even get an energy onto the Machop. So it looks like it's a Machamp Carbink break deck. So what I'm gonna do is Lele and just grab my do I want to grab Sycamore and then try to get a Float Stone? You know what? Instead of trying to draw into the Float Stone to be able to shut off abilities, I'm just gonna make the safe play. Go for the Hex Maniac, shut off Carbink, break Safeguard. That way I can Turbo Bolt for a knockout onto my Lele. And I mean, this way I was going to get this way I guaranteed got a knockout, but also I was able to start powering up my Lele on the bench as well. So, I mean, like, I can always just Sycamore next turn if I need to. So I'm in a very good position right now. I mean, that Machop will... Actually, yeah, even just Machop will be able to knock me out right now, I think. Yep, Dynamic Punch does 50. Okay, there's the Machoke, so he'll definitely be able to knock me out. this turn, but I do have a Lele on the bench that if my opponent attaches another energy, I'll be able to knock him out. If I attach an energy, I'll be able to knock him out. So I'm in a pretty good spot right now. Lele might just put in some work, and I'm very glad that I decided to just go for the Hex Maniac. Make the safe, conservative play, because, I mean, what it got me a knockout on the Carbink, it got me a powered-up Lele, and it shut off the Safeguard, too. So that's what I would have wanted out of the Sycamore anyway. And yeah, now I'm in a very good position. Let's go ahead and grab a Mega Manectric. Because, I mean, I have the Spirit Link in hand. I can always just start attaching to a Manectric on the bench, like if my opponent brings up something else. I mean, a Mega Manectric is never a bad thing to have on the bench. For free retreat at the very least. So let's Sycamore, see what we can get, and we get the Float Stone. So, I mean, that's something positive as well. It allows me to shut off my opponent's abilities too. So let's go ahead and just DCE up this Lele. I think this Lele is just going to carry me to victory, because Carbink cannot shut down my I can attack through Carbink's Safeguard. Either way, regardless, I have the Float Stone to activate Garbotoxin. So now my board is completely set up. My opponent has no energy on board. Lele is just going to be able to start steamrolling stuff. And I even have a Kukui for next turn if my opponent gets a Carbink break going. So, yeah, we're at the type disadvantage, but Lele, this is why Lele is so freaking good. It not only is able to get you a supporter and be a support Pokemon, but in cases like this, Lele is just able to get powered up and then steamroll my opponent, or steamroll the opponent with just different attacks. So I'm in a phenomenal spot right now. I think I have enough energy on Lele to where I don't need to attach anymore. I can just start attaching to the Mega Manectric in the back in case I need it. I can always Ultra Ball for another Lele so that my Mega Manectric would be able to start attaching energy to it. And yeah, I'm in a great spot right now. He does attach to the Machoke and plays down Sudowoodo, but my Garbodor has shut off ability, so I still have that bench spot. What I am going to do right here is let's go ahead and battle Compressor, get rid of some stuff that we don't need. Let's get rid of Trubbish, the Jolteon, and the Hoopa. Actually, you know what? Let's keep the Jolteon, because I mean, at the very least, that thing has free treat, and if my opponent somehow gets like a Zygarde or something like that, I can work with that. But for the time being, I'd like to attach an energy this turn, but at the same time, I think I just want to get rid of that Machoke, because a Carbink break is not a threat at all. I mean, that thing is just not scary. It does like 20, 40 damage per turn. I mean, if it hits for weakness, yeah, but Tapu Lele would be able to run him over anyway, which ended up being the case because my opponent just concedes once I'm able to knock out that Machoke. So, able to overcome the type disadvantage that we had in that matchup. Yeah, my opponent wasn't running any like Shaymins or Leles or consistency Pokemon, so not an overly competitive deck by my opponent, but I mean still a solid matchup that we were able to come through and win. So you know what? If you win a type disadvantage, I consider that a win. Let's try to find another one. Alrighty, we found another one against oh boy, this looks like a Trevenant. This looks like a Trevenant break deck. So, and we even lose the coin flip, so that's even worse. Oh boy, this is going to be a very uphill battle if my opponent's able to get a Trevenant in play. But if he's not, then my hand's actually conducive to a pretty solid opening, actually. Because I can Ultra Ball for a Hoopa, which would grab me a couple Manectrics and a Shaymin, or a Manectric, Mega Manectric, and a Shaymin. I mean, my hand is actually very good, assuming I don't get item locked turn 1. So if I get item locked turn 1, my hand is pretty much unplayable. I mean, I can attach energies, but that's it. On the bright side, my opponent does start a Shaymin, so that gives me some wiggle room to work with. I mean, I'll be able to... What? Oh, okay, so this... Wait, what is this? So it's not Trevenant, because why would... Actually, would you use Heavy Ball to go for Trevenant? Well, no, but... I don't know. It's not Trevenant, obviously, because of Heavy Ball. Though then again, you could run it because I think Trevenant has 3 retreat cost. Oh, good. It's a Solgaleo deck. So this is actually going to be a little bit better. What's kind of sad is despite the resistance, Mega Manectric does not have the ability to Mega Manectric does not have the ability to live a Sunsteel Strike, because it's still going to do 210, which is kind of exactly Mega Manectric's HP, which makes me just a little bit sad in that regard. So what I'm going to do right here is grab 2 Manectric and a Shaymin. I could have grabbed a Mega Manectric, but I want to leave that last spot on the bench for a Garbodor, because if I can get a Garbodor, then I'm just going to steamroll my opponent's deck. Like, there won't be much he can do if I'm able to get a Garbodor up. So let's go ahead and Battle Compressor, get rid of my Battle Compressor, a Ghetsis and a Sycamore. Actually, let's keep the other Battle Compressor, because I can always just get rid of other... yeah, let's get rid of the Hex Maniac. Get rid of 3 supporters, because, I mean, I already have 2 energy in the discard pile for Turbo Bolt later. And, okay, so... let's go ahead and Rough Seas. I hate to do this. But you know what? I mean, I can get energy back with Turbo Bolt later anyway. I don't like getting rid of Garbodor and Field Blower. But, I mean, hey, it's got to be done. My opponent didn't play a Stadium, so I wanted to get a Trubbish out. Unfortunately, I did not get one. So let's just go ahead and retreat into the Manectric and then Overrun. Yeah, it's going to do 40 damage, but, I mean, it's better than no damage at all. My opponent has absolutely nothing set up. So I'm still in a very good... I'm in a good position regardless. So we do see the Beldum come down. Energy come down onto the Beldum. That's fine with me. Honestly, it doesn't make a big deal. Or it's not a big deal. Let's play... I want to leave that spot open for a Trubbish. But at the same time, I want a Parallel City to get rid of my Hoopa and my Shaymin. So let's go ahead and do that. And then just Sycamore, I guess. Yeah, because I mean, I want a Trubbish down. Okay, so I'll be able to get a Trubbish this turn. Let's go ahead and Sycamore. Let's get rid of the Sycamore and the Battle Compressor. And I mean, I know I said I wanted a Trubbish, but I want to get energy started to get accelerated. I need to start accelerating energy. This way it gets me 2 prizes. I can start powering up stuff on my bench. And I figure my opponent's got a slow enough setup that even with the fact that I haven't gotten a Trubbish out yet, I think I still should be fine. Unfortunately, my opponent will be able to get a Metagross up, and... ooh, Metagross and Bridget. So my opponent got a pretty solid hand right here. I mean, luckily, I'm already 2 prizes ahead. So that is fantastic for me. Sorry, I thought that was... I saw Geotech System and thought he was going to Algorithm GX, which... okay, there we see the Algorithm GX. This is where it gets scary, and this is where I'm going to have to get a Trubbish up and going. Like, I mean, there's no 2 ways about it. Trubbish, I need to get that thing out right now. Because if I can shut off Geotech System and Ultra Road, then I have a chance. Otherwise, if my opponent's able to consistently hit me with Metagross and continually reuse resources, reuse his energy from the discard pile, then I'm in a bad spot. So what I am going to do, I'm Trubbishing right now. There's 2 Float Stone left in the deck. Worst case scenario, I slap a Spirit Link on it, which I really don't want to do. But, I mean, if I have to, then I have to. Let's DCE up the Shaymin just in case I need to, and then let's actually Ghetsis, because based on the fact that my opponent Bridgeted, I think, yep, there we see 3 rare candies and a VS Seeker. So I am very glad that I went for that. And what I can do right here is simply Turbo Bolt, accelerate more energy from the discard pile. 1-2. Let's put it on the Jolteon just cause. And yeah, I mean, Ghetsis was 1000% the play right there, being able to just get rid of all of those rare candies. Once my opponent algorithmed, I knew that he must have gotten like Solgaleo and a couple Metagross as well as a couple rare candy, or had a couple in his hand or something like that, because there's no way he wouldn't do that, especially with what he had going on right there. He is going to be able to Giga Hammer me for like 130. I'll be able to Rough Seas that off, retreat into my Manectric on the bench, hopefully get a Spirit Link or something like that. Although it doesn't matter because my opponent just forfeited. I mean, that Ghetsis was gigantic. Able to get rid of my able to get rid of all of the items in my opponent's hand. Yeah, my opponent still had a supporter, but the fact that he wasn't able to rare candy into 2 Metagross and a Solgaleo was huge, and that I think that won me the game. Otherwise, I would have been in a very, very, very bad position due to the bulk of his Pokemon. But yeah, that was another okay match. Let's find another one. Alrighty, we have found another one against Varus Medina. I have no idea how my opponent wants to pronounce that. I mean, I know how I want to pronounce it, but I don't know how my opponent wants to. We do win the coin flip, so we will get to go first. Hopefully this match is a little bit more competitive than the other ones have been. I mean, I've been playing for a little while now, and it seems like the expanded ladder is kind of dead right now. So, I mean, I go with what I am given. I will have to mulligan on this turn because, I mean, I obviously don't have a basic Pokemon. I have a Mega Manectric, and if I could start with Mega Manectric, that would be really, really nice. But unfortunately, I am not able to do that, and so we will just go ahead and mulligan, see what we can get. Alright, this is better. I saw the Hoopa, and I didn't see any other Pokemon at the time, so I was like, uh-oh, this is going to be bad. I did not want a Hoopa start. That would just make me kind of have a solitary tear run down my cheek. But I do have Jolteon, I have Manectric, I have Choice Band, so I'm in a good spot overall. In a less good spot based on what I've drawn, but I will be able to Hoopa for probably just another Manectric and a Shaymin. Yeah, my opponent seems to be running Mewtwo, probably, I mean, I can almost guarantee that it's a Mega Mewtwo of some sort. So let's Shaymin for 3, see what we can get. I attach to the Jolteon just because that thing can potentially attack turn 2. And then let's Trubbish as well. I mean, it never hurts to have a Garbodor in play shutting off abilities. Let's get rid of an N, a Sycamore, and a Lightning Energy. And then, because I have all these VS Seekers in my hand, I really do not want to Sycamore those away. So let's just go ahead and grab the N. Shuffle, draw 6. I mean, my opponent ends up with a hand of 6 anyway, so that's not too big of a deal. Okay, I have a Parallel City. What I can actually do, let's go ahead and do that so I can bounce both the Shaymin and the Hoopa. If I need to next turn, I can just Field Blower away the stadium and then be able to play down another Shaymin, another Tapu Lele, just something else. I mean, I'll be able to Field Blower the stadium away, so that's why I decided to make that play. Just get rid of the liabilities that are on my bench. Only have stuff that I want to work with, and that's why I really like the combination of Field Blower and Parallel City, just because, I mean, it lets you get rid of the Pokemon that you don't like on the bench, and then with Field Blower you can get rid of that stadium, or you can even just counter the stadium and go from there. It gives you so many different options with this deck. So my opponent even just counters my Parallel City. That is fine. My Field Blower, I'm probably going to try to just get rid of my opponent's... Well, I'm not going to try to. I will get rid of my opponent's Spirit Link and his Altar of the Moon. This coming turn, I'd like to get a supporter of some kind, but otherwise I can just start powering up my Manectric in the back. I can even Lysandre up the Shaymin not next turn, but the turn after that, if I want to be able to take a couple cheap prizes. Unfortunately, Swift is not able to hit for weakness, because otherwise I would just immediately Lysandre that Shaymin and knock it out. But Swift, while it can hit through all of these different abilities and stuff like that, it cannot hit through weakness. So you take the good, you take the bad, you take them both, and there you have the facts of Pokemon. So, I mean, that's just kind of how it goes. Shoutouts to anybody who caught that reference. But what I am going to do right here is energy up one of my Manectrics. It really doesn't matter which one. I mean, just because neither of them have like a Spirit Link or anything on there. Let's Battle Compressor, get rid of Kukui, and do I want to get rid of... What else do I want to get rid of? Let's get rid of one Lightning Energy. No, let's not get rid of Lightning Energy. Let's get rid of Lysandre, just so I have one in the discard pile. I'm going to put this one back in my deck, but I want to have the ability to VS Seeker for a Lysandre later if I need to. And then let's just end for a fresh hand of 6 cards. Once again, my opponent will have a hand of 6 as well, so that is completely fine with me. I have the Float Stone, I have Computer Search, I have a lot of good stuff in my hand right now. Let's go ahead and shut off my opponent's abilities. Spirit Link up the Manectric and just hit this Mewtwo for 60 damage. Oddly enough, this actually sets up the Mewtwo to be knocked out by Turbo Bolt next turn. So that 60 damage from Swift is going to come in very, very handy, oddly enough. Because, I mean, normally I'm just like, well, you Swift if you have nothing else to do, and Swift rarely comes in handy. Well, in this case, the 60 damage from Swift is going to be quite a big deal. What I can do this coming turn is Computer Search for something. What do I want to Computer Search for? I don't know what I want to Computer Search for right now. But my opponent is just wallying. What's he going to wally into? A Toxapex, maybe? So I'm really not sure what my opponent is exactly running. I mean, it looks like just a Mewtwo Toxapex deck. But, well, I mean, I know what my opponent is running based on what we see. But I'm really not sure if there's like a hidden synergy behind it that I'm not seeing. I mean, there's obviously Espeon as well. So, I mean, it could just be a psychic hodgepodge of stuff. Either way, my opponent's going to hit me for 60 damage. That's fine with me. And, that was the one card I did not want to draw into. That's unfortunate. So what I am going to do is Computer Search, get rid of the Lightning and the Field Blower, because I can always attach a DCE to my Manectric in order to be able to Turbo Bolt. It's not something I want to do, but it's something that I can do if I don't draw into a regular Lightning. And, well, there we go. That's what I got. What I am going to do is play my other Manectric down, retreat into Mega Manectric, slap that DCE on there, and then, yeah, let's just go ahead and Turbo Bolt, knock out my opponent's Mewtwo, accelerate 2 Lightning Energies onto my Manectric on the bench, and hopefully draw into a Spirit Link off my prizes. Well, I mean, a Lightning Energy works too, and a Hex Maniac. I mean, I can always just Lysandre up the Shaymin, take a knockout on that while powering up something else as well. So I'm in a very good position right now. Admittedly, my opponent isn't using that. My opponent isn't using that competitive of a deck. So, I mean, once again, the Expanded Ladder has yielded a little bit of... I mean, the Expanded Ladder has yielded very uncompetitive matches. The Metagross match actually would have been really, really competitive, I think. And actually, I would have been in a very bad spot and might have lost that if my opponent was able to get set up. But once again, that Ghetsis was just so ridiculously gigantic that I was able to completely steamroll my opponent. He just had no chance at all to do anything. What I am going to do right here is Lightning Energy up my Manectric, grab that Lysandre so I can just knock out the Shaymin. And I think, yeah, I mean, I don't think I'll be able to Turbo Bolt at all because there are no Lightning in the discard pile. Yeah, I won't, but, I mean, hey, a knockout's a knockout. I'm 2 prizes closer to winning the game, get a Ghetsis and a Sycamore. I can always Ultra Ball for something next turn, and I think with what I have on my board, I think I'm just going to be able to win the game at this point, and there's almost nothing my opponent can do about it. Because, I mean, Manectric's going to be able to hit with Turbo Bolt. I don't think... I mean, even if he confuses me, I just retreat into my Manectric on the bench, and then I can Lysandre up the Mewtwo or the Toxapex. I really have so many different outs right here. I mean, even... Okay, my Rough Seas, able to heal up damage. So, I mean, my opponent's not going to be able to do much of anything to me for the... yeah, I really don't think my opponent can do much. So let's Ultra Ball, get rid of the Ghetsis and the N. I said Ghetsis wrong on purpose. Let's just grab a Garbodor. Yeah, there are Manectric Spirit Links still in my deck, so I mean, that's something at the very least. And then let's... Do I want to Lele? Do I want to play the Lele down? Let's actually just go ahead and do that, and then Sycamore away my hand. I'm not close to decking out. I really don't have to worry about that. And there we go. I get a Spirit Link that I can work with. I can Ultra Ball, get rid of a Lightning Energy and my Baby Manectric to be able to grab another Mega Manectric. So now I'll just be able to cycle between both of these. I'll be able to power up Lele. I'll be able to power up another Manectric. So, I mean, yeah, now Lele's powered up, a single attachment. I can retreat my damaged Mega Manectric and then Turbo Bolt this Espeon for 110 damage. Also get that Lightning Energy onto my Manectric-EX that's just on the bench. That one will not become a Mega Manectric, but it's still, I mean, it's still powered up, so if my opponent plays a tool, I'll be able to hit for 120. And honestly, I don't know what my opponent can do at this point. I have 4 attackers completely powered up. I have Jolteon who can, I mean, 1 energy for 60. Yeah, it's not amazing, but it's something that I can definitely work with. Actually, yeah, I still have the Choice Band on there. I was like thinking that somewhere along the lines my opponent got a my opponent Field Blowered away my Choice Band. But I mean, I have Garbodor with a Float Stone. Jolteon is the worst attacker that I have, and it's still hitting for 60 damage with 1 energy, which is nothing to scoff at. I have 2 Mega Manectrics ready to Turbo Bolt. I have a Manectric on the bench ready to Assault Laser if my opponent is able to Mega Evolve and use the Spirit Link, which... Okay, my opponent retreats in Mega Evolve. So this Mega Mewtwo Y could be a problem. Well, I mean, it could be a problem if I didn't have the Lysandre in my hand for the win. But, yeah, let's just heal 30 and 30, Lysandre up that Espeon, and win the game right there. So, yeah, that was a third game, and I know normally around this time I'd just be like, yeah, that's the live, but I'm not satisfied with these matches at all. The expanded ladder has been very, very dead. I've been playing for about an hour and a half right now, and the matches, and I've only gotten like 3 even remotely decent matches. So I'm going to try to find one more. So at the very least, even if I didn't get the most competitive matches, at least you have a live of, or at least you have a longer live of matches at the very least. So I apologize for that. I'm going to try to find another one, and let's keep our fingers crossed that this one turns out to be competitive. Alrighty, we found another one against P Emily 88 with another Psychic and Normal deck. So, guys, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed that this is a good one. We do win the coin flip once again. Man, this is just a good live for coin flips on our end. We do start, unfortunately, with the Lele. But, I mean, again, Lele is not a horrible Pokemon to start with. I mean, yeah, you like to be able to play it down from your hand, but Energy Drive is a good attack on its own. What I am going to do right here is Ultra Ball get rid of... Do I want to get rid of both Lightning? Yeah, let's just go ahead and do that. I was trying to decide what I wanted to do, just because, I mean, I drew the Float Stone, so I was like, maybe is there a possibility of grabbing a Trubbish or something like that? But you know what? Let's just play the Float Stone onto the Hoopa. And okay. There's no Shaymin in the deck. So, let's just grab, like... Do I want to grab 3 Manectrics? Yeah, let's just grab 3 Manectrics, because why the heck not? Alrighty then. Let's go ahead and just play... Do I want to play all of them down? Let's DCE up the Hoopa... Or not... DCE up the Lele, and then Float Stone up the Hoopa. That's what I was going for. And then let's get rid of the Ghetsis, and the Ghetsis, the Sycamore, and the Hex Maniac, and then Kukui for 2 cards, see what we can get, and nothing. So, yeah, I'm just going to hold on to my hand right here. I'm not playing the other Manectric down, just because I want those 2 available spots for Lele and Trubbish if I need to. Lele just if I need to. Otherwise, it can be Trubbish and another Manectric, but, I mean, I might even just end up playing it next turn. Who knows? I mean, but for the time being, just keep the options open. Don't play down too many bench Pokemon. This looks to be another Mewtwo deck. So I'm kind of interested to see what all my opponent is running. Because, I mean, it could be Mega Mewtwo Garbodor, which would be really cool. I mean, it could just be without Shaymin as well, as Oranguru is normally a budget replacement for Shaymin. The Mewtwo from Generations is... Or not the Mewtwo from Generations. The Mewtwo from, what is that? I can't even remember what the set's called. Ah! Evolutions? Yeah, I think so. God, why can I not remember what it was from? But either way, I'm in a very good spot, because, I mean, my opponent played down the Mewtwo, and I play down the Mewtwo regardless. So that's... I mean, the Mewtwo from Evolutions is a Mewtwo that I actually play in my Mega Mewtwo deck. In my competitive Mega Mewtwo deck, I played a 1-of just because it has the ability to accelerate energy to itself. And this hand is nice. Let's go ahead and evolve the Mega Manectric. Play the energy onto it. Do I want a Trubbish? Or do I want to just Ultra Ball for a Lele? So, you know what? Let's actually just go ahead and evolve a second Mega Manectric. Yeah, I don't have the Spirit Link, but I can't extend any more. The damage from Lele, I mean, it'd be a 3-hit KO, and I'd rather just 2-shot it with Manectric while accelerating energy. So, Okay, this is a Mega Mewtwo X deck, so that's going to be kind of interesting to say the least. Let's Ultra Ball, get rid of the Trubbish and the Jolteon to grab a Lele, grab another Lele. That way we can get stuff going. Play down the Rough Seas, Battle Compressor, get rid of some more stuff. Let's actually get rid of the Trubbish and Garbodors, I think. Just because these guys won't be doing much in this match. So yeah, let's just get rid of those guys. I mean, yeah, it would be nice to shut off Instruct and whatnot, but I really don't think Garbodor is going to be overly handy. I think just having attackers and being able to cycle through them continuously will be enough, and I'm actually going to be able to get a third Mega Manectric this turn. So let's go ahead and retreat Hoopa into Manectric, Spirit Link up my other one, Mega Evolve it, and yeah, let's Turbo Bolt. Not going to be a knockout on the Oranguru, but I mean, it would have taken 3 turns from last turn anyway, because I would have had to either 3-shot it with Lele or 2-shot it with Manectric while taking a turn to Mega Evolve, and I really like the outcome that I got, being able to have 3 Manectrics up and going. I'd like to have another DCE or another energy. What am I trying to say? I'd like to have more energy in the discard pile. But that's fine. Let's just go ahead and computer search. Grab the Lysandre, actually, because what I'm going to do, that Mewtwo is getting a little bit scary. So let's go ahead and Lysandre that thing in. Attach to the Mega Manectric. Then I'm going to retreat into my Lele and hit that thing with a Choice Banded Energy Drive, because this will be a 2-shot. Not quite an Oko, and even if I had attached that energy for the turn, it would not have been an Oko. So I'm going to 2-shot this thing anyway. Even if he gets a Mega Mewtwo and knocks out my Lele, well, I can just immediately respond with a Mega Manectric. And this is honestly a great position for me to be in. I have 3 Mega Manectrics, 2 of which are completely powered up, one of which is 1 energy away from being powered up. And I have a Lele with a DCE and a Choice Band on it. Yeah, my opponent hits me for 110. That's not a big deal. Ooh, I even get a VS Seeker, so I don't even have to end my opponent into a new hand. So what I can do is just VS Seeker for a Sycamore. 2 Rough Seas are in there. That's fine. Let's grab that Sycamore, just get a fresh hand of 7 cards. And this match, unfortunately, looks like I might be in the beginning of steamrolling my opponent. So what I'm going to do is attach to the Lele, that way I can manually retreat into my Manectric without getting rid of my DCE. I can always just Turbo Bolt this thing. I can always just Turbo Bolt that energy onto another Manectric, which I'll be honest, I really like Turbo Bolt, being able to just manually retreat out and then just get that energy back on as if you had attached it anyway. So I am going to Parallel City, get rid of the no energy Lele and the Hoopa, and then just Turbo Bolt my opponent's Mewtwo, knock it out, grab that energy, throw it onto my other Mega Manectric, and now I'm in a position where I have 3 Mega Manectrics powered up, a Lele with a DCE and a Choice Band, and yeah, my opponent really doesn't have much of anything. Yeah, he's got a Mewtwo with a DCE, but he just has a damaged Oranguru. I have the ability to get rid of my Parallel City, play down another Manectric, and then Shaymin. I mean, I just have everything I could want right now, and if my opponent plays down a Shaymin of his own, that's just a Lysandre away from being knocked out by Turbo Bolt, so he does just attach and pass. Yeah, this is very unfortunate right now. I'd like to have these matches be more competitive, but I'm just going to be steamrolling my opponent at this point, so I'm just going to retreat into my Lele. Yeah, he can potentially knock me out with a Cyburn, or is that what it's called? Whatever. Either way, he will potentially be able to knock me out next turn. But, I mean, I want to get a ton of damage off on this Mewtwo. That Mewtwo has 3 energy. Let's just attach the Spirit Link because there's really no other reason not to, and this way it keeps my opponent from getting a random Head Ringer. Even if I had attached the energy to Lele this turn, actually I did, but whatever. If I had attached the energy to Lele last turn with Turbo Bolt, that's what I meant, I would not have been able to knock out this Mewtwo because it has 180 HP. We do see the Bursting Balloon come down. Yeah, my opponent will be able to knock out this Lele, but I'll be able to respond immediately with a Mega Manectric. Or he decides to just... Wow, he decides to just attack with Mewtwo. Or just to Mega Evolve. So what I'm going to be able to do, get rid of the Bursting Balloon, get rid of the Parallel City, and yeah, let's just knock out this Mewtwo. I'm saving the Shaymin in case my opponent ends me down to 2. That way I have a way of drawing out of it. And guys, I'm sorry that these matches aren't more competitive. I mean, it's been... I told you I was playing for an hour and a half around the time of the last match, but this one, I'm nearing on 2 hours of playing at this point, and these are unfortunately the best matches I can get. So I'm very sorry about that. The expanded ladder is very, very dead at this point. It looks like everybody's currently playing standard or legacy maybe, but it seems like a lot more people are playing standard, which I don't blame them. Guardians Rising just created a whole new flavor. It's a whole new metagame, while expanded is still kind of the same old, same old. But I decided to play it because I wanted to show off these new full arts, and would you look at that bench of 3 fully powered up full art Mega Manectrics. I consider that just beauty in itself. I mean, that makes this whole deciding to do a new live worth it. Just seeing the beauty that is those Mega Manectrics all powered up and looking great on the bench. My opponent's gonna nest ball. What's he gonna bring in? Brings in another Mewtwo. How many Mewtwo has he gone through? I don't even know. But either way, I'm just gonna Lysandre that thing up. We see the Spirit Link come down. We see the DCE get played onto the Mewtwo. And to my opponent's credit, he's doing everything he can at this point to avoid losing. Like, oh, the Mew comes down. Wait. Can I win off that? No, I need a Kukui and the ability to Lysandre that thing up. Or I could just top deck a DCE. I think I just win off that. Yeah, because I attach a DCE to the Lele. That's 10 energy, which is 100. Hit for 30 more with Choice Band. I think that's just the game. Yeah, it is. Because grab that Lysandre, maybe. Lysandre up the Mew, and then Lele's going to be able to knock it out for a game. So, I mean, at least this one was a complete game, and my opponent didn't forfeit, and I was able to take all 6 prizes. I mean, yeah, my opponent's, like, I steamrolled every single one of them. So, again, guys, I really do apologize. It's hard when the ladder is just very dead, so when I have time to record and I'm trying to get good matches, all of a sudden I just get matches where I either get steamrolled or I absolutely steamroll my opponent. So hopefully the longer live makes up for it a little bit. And again, I mean, like, this is the 30th time I'm saying this, so I apologize that the matches were not uber competitive. I hope that you guys still enjoyed this live, seeing what Mega Manectric does, seeing its new synergy with Tapu Lele as well. And yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed. For what it's worth, like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. And this is Styx signing out. Why not? See you guys.